Hi, everybody. And first of all, thank you for inviting me on to share my experience. I'm going to just talk about how I was introduced into humane and natural agriculture from my personal experience. And it's a little bit of a story about me, and I'll just go ahead with that right now. And you'll see how it catches up and includes in how what happened to me, and that is in line with nature and humane natural agriculture. About just over 3 years ago now, I had a huge injury. I had a big stroke, and nearly finished me off. I was really very ill. Lost lots of thought patterns. I was disabled down my left-hand side. My ability to feel temperature changes went, and it's quite harrowing, really. So I had a business at the time, and I was an engineering business, and I struggled to keep that going. But 3 years yesterday, on my birthday, I had a massive heart failure, which is just over 2 months after I had my stroke. And I just stopped. And then I ended up going to hospital. So after I've had two major injuries now, kind of bearing in mind that there was a kind of a harrowing time for me. Like, I didn't really know what was going on, because 1 minute I was in a wheelchair and just about moving, and now I'm laying in ICU again. It's like, oh, wow, what is going on? But hey, that is life. And so, anyways, as you go through the medical practices, and they saved my life, and I can only thank them for that. And you go through a process of rehabilitation, convalescing, and taking lots of pills, lots of chemical pills. Now, after about a year, things happened to me. I lost, the business is gone, and everything else. All I can do is just concentrate on myself now. I after a year, because I had to take pills for a year, because they said you have to, because they put some stents in to open my arteries, because that was the reason my heart fell. So after a year, I know, okay, so I'm beginning to sort of get to grips of what's going on in my body. But I've always had, since I got injured, I had this desire to get into nature. And apparently, when people have these very bad injuries or near-death experiences, it's common that you want to get out of your boxes where you live. You need to get into nature. And that was a real big draw for me. So anyways, with this in mind, I started to look at the way I was feeling, and I was having brain fog. I was having psoriasis, and my joints were seizing up. And I was having 11, 12 pills a day to take because of my injuries. Now, I went to the doctor to have a cholesterol check. And they had a cholesterol check, and I was on some statins, and it was 7 point something. And the doctor said, "Oh, that's way too high. You need to have some new pills." Okay. So I decided to have a look at what statins actually do. I'm not a scientist. My whole speech is to do with how I feel about this situation. So going back, I went online, sorry, and had a look at lots of information about what they actually do. Now, I'd stopped eating meat anyway, so I was still eating dairy, and it's all about fats in the blood. So I thought, okay, well, rather than taking another pill, let's just take the dairy off the plate and don't eat any dairy. After 2 months, I went back. They done a check, and my cholesterol went down to 3 point something or another. Now, the doctor said to me, "Fantastic, the new pills that we gave you are clearly working, keep taking them." And I was like, I went, "Okay, doc, thanks very much." So straight away, alarm bells are ringing, like bing, 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 bing. This is all to do with your diet, Stu. So I started looking right into the pills they were giving me, and some of them was to do to soften the arteries and well, just stop eating salt and processed foods. So I stopped doing that. Some of it was to reduce blood pressure by the heart or the kidneys. Well, just meditate and take stress away and drink more fluids, And there was always an answer opposite to the pills. So I started looking into the nutritional value and the chemicals put onto the foods that we eat. That's scary. It's really, really scary. And think, wow, so the reason I had the injuries in the first place was diet. Now, it could well have been to do with the way they grow the foods, the nutritional value in the foods that we think we're getting from the supermarkets. It's not there. So your body's always under stress all the time. So I started looking at organic. Now, when I started looking at organic options, then it's very good. But something in my heart was saying it's still not right, because you're still forcing the food to grow through fertilizers and composts, and I was like, something's not right. And then someone said to me, there's a guy at Shinya, he's doing a presentation in Bournemouth about Shumei natural agriculture. So okay, then I can have a look at that and you know, see how that would work for me. And I had a little look beforehand, and so I went to this presentation that she had done, and it was just, everything vibrated, everything just made sense. Like, why would you want to force a plant to grow? Let it grow on its own rate. Let it be happy. A happy food, so surely it's got to be better, because like a happy you is better. And I think, well, that's equating nature everywhere you go. If it's happy, it's going to be better. It's going to be more healthy. It just made so much sense. So that was it for me. That changed everything. Now, with the natural egg, I found it difficult to sort of like get to anywhere. I live in a small place just to get some ground or some places to grow. But once I start talking to about the principles of Shumei, and when I equate it with if you have a teenage son and you give everything, or daughter, you give everything they need, you know, here's your computer, here's your food, here's your drink. They don't do anything. They just stay there. If you take things away, they have to go and get them and have to go and do things to survive. The principle's the same with Shumei. If you don't give them fertilizers and give them water so they don't die, but they will go and find nutrients. They would go and find water. It just made sense. So on that principle, I thought, this is right for me. This is really working. So I found 4 different places who are quite happy to grow some Shumei garden. Now, this is my first year. I'm not an old seasoned natural agriculture grower. I've done it for 1 season. But this 1 season that I did practice that even the local community gardens where they were growing their vegetables, they were having problems and illnesses like blights, you know, on the tomatoes, way before I did get it, but it was way before our growers were getting it. It was like, that's really interesting. And people said, someone said to me, how are you doing it? And I was like, I don't know. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing anything. If you just leave things and let them do their own natural defenses, and people are like, well, surely you must do something to stop the diseases. And I was like, well, no, I just left them and I thanked the diseases for drawing the negatives out. You know, everything's by appreciation. Because like if you see a disease as a negative, it's a living thing. It's only trying to survive. So it's obviously there for a reason. So, you know, appreciate everything. And if you can appreciate everything, you start to see the balance in nature and how we are unbalanced in nature by influencing it. So it's a big step back and do little, and the answers will come to you through the plants and how they're growing. It just makes complete sense to me. Excuse me, let's be dry there. So that's how I got into Shumei. Now, everything else, like when you look at the moon phases, and if you plant seeds or put the plants in the ground with this, where the moon's waxing or waning, or you know, if it's a leaf or a root vegetable, all these things are all to do with nature, and they all work. They all have an impact because you're just doing things which are associated with nature, not forcing it. So I do go there every day. I speak to the plants. I say hello. I do touch the ground. I do put positive thoughts, like Suru Emoto. You know, I do that very thing and put positive, happy thoughts into it. There's other things that I do practice just channeling light, happiness into plants which are not happy. Like we can have natural healing. Jorai is one, and there's many other healings there where people will heal the spirit. Heal the spirit, you heal the physical, heal the soul. It's the same with plants. Exactly the same with plants. If a plant isn't happy, just throw some light. Just, you know, anything to help. And the plants appreciate it. The plants have spirit. The plants communicate. That's a pretty pretty where I am at the moment. Pretty close where I am. I haven't had much success in my my seed retention on some of the plants because you know, I am an engineer. I picked up a trowel about a year ago, and it's changed my life, if I'm honest. So it really has. I have found some places where you can get some seeds, Pennard seeds, Vital seeds, where they do heritage seeds. So there is ways to circumnavigate or navigate through the behemoths of the buyers and these big horrible corporations which are selling the seeds. And I think we need to support that so much more. And seed banks as well. There's lots of groups where we have seed banks. There's people in Dorset, and there's people in Devon. There's people in Hampshire, Somerset, which is my area, and they're all collecting seeds. So a lot of people are actually doing the natural agriculture naturally. They're already doing it. You know, all they need to do is just realise that, just take away the efforts to encourage their growth and let nature take its course. And then I think there's a big uprising for this particular kind of food growing on a smaller scale, you know. So that's about it in a nutshell, if I'm honest. It's free in this current climate. That, you know, food supplies and supply chains with everything that's happening in the world is very, very sort of wobbly at the moment. And with this, you do have food security, you know, and you do have healthy foods. So if there's one thing it's going to give you is independence away from the system of supply chains. This is a big thing for a lot of people, and I think this is going to grow a hell of a lot more. That's about me in a nutshell. It's all from the heart. I thought I'd just like to just tell you my experience and how human natural agriculture really did help me get away from the drugs that I used to be on, but I don't take any anymore. And it's all through healthy eating. It's pure diet has saved me, or saved me from a life of chemical concoctions from the pharmaceutical industry. I've been off them for nearly 2 years now, and it's the healthiest I've ever felt. And not only that, it's my spirituality is just wide open, because I'm not having any chemicals to suppress my spirit and my soul. And Shume is that thing. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope it wasn't too boring. And
Thank you, Stuart. Thank you very much.